Hello and welcome to DC Comics November 2022 Solicitations. I am Ian and I welcome you to my channel. And we're going to go through solicitations that just dropped this morning. They were pretty early compared to last time. I don't know what happened with Comic-Con, but there's a lot more completed covers and stuff. And last time there was a bunch that were dropped, which was kind of weird. Hold on just a second. I want to pull up one thing. There we go. Yes. All right, so I'm ready to go. I am first going to go through solicitations on Newsarama, and then I'm going to look at how DC has advertised on DC Connect number 28, and then I'm going, well, that's it. So just those two things, going through all solicitations. Going to skip trades and anything I'm not reading and have no idea about, so hopefully won't be too long. And I will begin my screen share. So here's the Newsarama site. We're starting with this announcement of the Batman and the Joker, the Deadly Duo. It's a 7-issue miniseries written and drawn by Mark Silvestri. I don't know much about Silvestri. I know that they expect this to sell a lot because they're trying to use a lot of variants. They're going all the way up to 250 variant by the writer-artist Mark Silvestri. They have a 1 in 100, 1 in 50, and 125 incentives. And this is going to be Batman and the Joker. It's, let's see, is this Black Label? It does not say Black Label. So I think they may be trying to say this is main continuity. Actually, let's see if they do say anything is Black Label. They don't say anything is Black Label. So Fables is Black Label, but they're not saying it is. So this could or could not be Black Label. I don't know. It would fit with the artist focus thing. I don't think this is honestly going to matter that much in terms of continuity and other stories. People are telling me this actually was first proposed way back in like 2018, and it's been worked on since then. So I don't know. I will probably have to be covering parts of this, but I'm just not super excited about this because this is Batman and the Joker, and I prefer Batman working with his family, and I hate the Joker. And I really hate it when Batman and the Joker work together, because the one I've started to accept it in the White Knight universe, because honestly, that Joker is just Two-Face. It's not actually Joker. But I don't like the Joker. He's evil, and I don't find him funny. I don't find him interesting. We do have a lot of cool covers. Let's take a look. Full screen it. Actually, let's see. Full screen? Yeah, I'll go all the way full screen to get the biggest image possible. So this is main cover by Mark Silvestri. That's Greg Capullo's variant. Greg Capullo doing a second variant. That looks kind of okay. It's not low effort, but we've seen this from Capullo a lot before. That's Kyle Hotz, very 90s. It looks honestly like Kelly Jones, except the ears are slightly different shape. That is Jorge Fornes. It's quite the shot. I like the design. I don't like the image, but I like the design. I like the boldness of it. And then Silvestri, I think this is going to be the sign variant. And it's just Harley. Nice image. He's clearly a good artist. So that's that. They're doing a lot of promotion for that. I honestly don't care. This is a second issue because for the last two, because December, the last 2 weeks of December are very hard for retailers. I think they try and advertise their comics early so that they can get their stuff in early, so people can go on vacation and retailers can have people who know what they want earlier, so they don't have to be coming in late in January, because you have the 1-2 of Christmas and New Year that disrupt business. So I don't know. That's what they've been doing last many years that I've been following solicitations. Pretty normal, I think. Let's see. This one just has 2 incentives. So Yannick Paquette on a 1 in 25 and Mark Silvestri on a black and white 50. So good that they're not trying to keep the even 100 for a second issue. So this is the main cover. Looks like he'll be fighting some Joker monsters. That's interesting. Here's the Yannick Paquette incentive. I don't recognize that. That's not the black and white. That is Kelly Jones. That also looks like there's two Kelly Jones covers. Oh, okay. Batman variant and Joker variant. There's some real 90s talent for you. This is, by the way, the 90s variant month. I'm going to get a couple of these, but I don't think I'm going to get a lot of them. The one I'm tempted to that I wouldn't normally get is Wonder Woman, because Jen Bartel's jean jacket Wonder Woman is just hilarious. I think that's really cool. Batman number 129. This is Chip Zdarsky. Now, this is the second to last issue of the Failsafe arc. I'm going to keep saying this just because I think I'm right. I think in January, when we get into the 7th issue of this run, we're going to do a crossover with Catwoman and Detective Comics, because people are rumoring that those are the specific titles that are going to cross over. And James Tynion and Josh Williamson were both either forced or wanted to do a crossover just after their first arc concluded. So it just seems like that's what's going to happen. Tom King also technically had to do it, but that was the Night of the Monster Men, which was more about double shipping than necessarily needing a crossover. Although, interestingly, Batman did actually lead into Night of the Monster Men, even though it's such a weird thing. It's interesting how Nightwing, Batman, and Detective Comics all tied together in weird ways, and then that crossover happened, and then Detective actually is the story that carried that to its conclusion. Like, nobody cared about anything else, even though Batman was what led into it. One of these days, someone should actually take a look at how that crossover happened and what it looks like. But that's, sorry, getting distracted. Anyway, crossover happening, I think, in January. And we have this one's going all the way to 50 on the 5th issue of the run. That's not good news, in my opinion. I am really liking what's going on. It's very intense, very, very intense. I like what you're seeing from Bruce. My theory is that Batman always reflects specific parts of the writer's personality, and I'm really curious to see what parts of Chip Zdarsky's personality we're going to see reflected in Batman. This is Jorge Jimenez. He just tweeted about this, and he says he really likes this new character. He's very elaborate, really goes with Jimenez's favorite things to do with design. That's Zur-En-Arrh, and I can't remember. I think that might be Matina, but that's pretty cool. And here's the foil variant by Jock. That's the 50 incentive. Not super exciting to me, but it is a cool, powerful image. That's very Jock. So that's Simone DeMeo. I didn't know he was doing a variant. Wow, there's a lot of variants for Batman. Here's the 90s variant. I do really love that oval. I miss the oval. James Tynion and Josh Williamson were working really hard to bring it back. So that's Ryan Benjamin doing the 90s variant. Wow, there's a lot of variants, even though... Yep. And Chip is also doing the backups. I really like that. And the backups change from the Catwoman story to being about the Zur-En-Arrh, sort of the origin of Zur-En-Arrh, which I think is kind of cool, because Grant Morrison did talk about how that came to be, but never dived into the actual story of how he created Zur-En-Arrh. Bruce created Zur-En-Arrh. So I think that's a cool thing. I don't actually like Batman R.I.P. I know. Watch all my subscribers. All 2 of my subscribers leave, but I just don't like Morrison Batman very much. I am liking what people did with Morrison's concept. So I liked what was his name? Tim Seeley and Tom King did with the Spiral Academy. I thought that was really cool in Grayson. I like what James Tynion and Tim Seeley did with Batman Incorporated. I just think that Morrison did a lot of really cool ideas. I didn't like the execution. We also get the December issue of Batman Solicited here. This is the final chapter. And the backup is still Zur-En-Arrh. Here's our main cover by Jorge Jimenez. This gives me flashbacks to Beasts of Burden, the Tony Daniel arc of where Batman walks through a blizzard in Siberia. I'm just so curious to see how he beats. My prediction is that the Justice League won't show up and Batman will have to figure out how to beat it alone. We'll see. I mean, this does have Justice League level tech, so maybe if the Justice League does show up, they'll be in trouble. But this definitely looks like Batman is having Very difficult time. I really love the colors here. It's just all black with gray highlights of the bat and the arms. Really cool looking. Jorge Jimenez is just so good. Variant cover Batman in the cave. That's pretty classic. Doesn't seem to have anything to do with anything, but cool image. Jock, of course, doing dramatic Jock images. Very cool. I think that's Gabriel Del Otto. It looks like his style. And David Marquez doing a battle. I like Marquez. Pretty cool. And who is that? Is that all right? I'm curious to know if that's so. That's a holiday variant by Laura Braga. Let's see who's on it. I'm betting that it's not going to be uncolored. So it looks like two Bat women. It might be Babs and Kate, but I don't know for sure. Without colors, it's really hard to tell because you don't see the ribs. I don't know. Definitely Nightwing. Probably Tim, but maybe they'll color it as Damian. I don't know. And Bruce looking unshaven. I don't know about this one. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like. I guess I was wrong. They do have some serious covers that don't have full colorings. Batman and Spawn, they're doing that. Batman One Day, Mr. Freeze, Jerry Duggan. This is already released. The first one of these was just released. This really sounds to me like it's a bunch of future set alternate realities. I really think these should be Black Label because that's the thing, but they want it to be its own. I don't know why they want it to be its own. Black Label should have this kind of like attention paid to it. Big thing announced yesterday. Jeff Johns is doing a new Justice Society of America initiative with a big one shot that's going to be 48 pages. So that's roughly twice as long as a normal comic. Only $5. That's not too bad. They are going all out with 100 foil variant by David Delaskey, as well as Dan Hipp and Michael Allred on 25 and 50 variants. I really wish DC would stop this because it's unnatural sales propping up, and I think it's probably too much of their business model. They need to wean themselves off. They need to drop down to just like 25s. Stop doing variants on comics that, I don't know. It's just not good, not healthy for the market. Anyway, the thing that I'm really curious about here, there's the stuff about this is all very vague, and it's about Flashpoint Beyond. I'm not reading Flashpoint Beyond, so I don't really know. The thing that's going to get me interested is I like Alan Scott. I like Wildcat, Jay Garrick, and Hawkman. So I'm curious about those guys and Huntress. So we'll see better in the JSA cover, but you see Huntress here. It's a weird blend of like Jim Lee mask for Huntress and other things. And the thing about the solicit is it's very vague. It says everything's going to change. Nothing's going to be the same again. Jeff Johns has done this before. He did this with Doomsday Clock. Doomsday Clock was too delayed, and nothing ultimately happened. I think this is going to be the same thing. I think JSA is going to end after 12 issues, which are going to take place over 24 months. It's going to delay and delay and delay. I think Stargirl is probably going to be on time. I think that's going to come out as a 6-issue mini, so hopefully he's already mostly done with that. But it looks to me like Johns has seen the collapse of all the stuff he was trying to do with DC Media on HBO Max, which was formerly DC Universe, and the CW, of course, getting sold off. So he really doesn't have a place to go. The movies aren't really open to him because Warner Brothers is trying to do a completely fresh new thing with the Discovery merger. So he's coming back to comics, and he's been holding on to these properties of JSA and Stargirl. And I don't begrudge him Stargirl. That's his sister who died, inspired that character. No problem. I think it would be cool if other people used her, but honestly, I understand him being protective of that. That's not. I don't think that's selfish. I think that's realist. I think it's good. I think DC should honor that. I hate that they have let him control the JSA because I would love to see Robert Venditti or Jeremy Adams or somebody do the JSA. Heck, Tom King, he's doing the JLI. He could do the JSA, kill off lots of people in the past, and create time paradigm. It'd be great. That's sarcasm. I don't want him to kill anyone off. So, but he's finally doing it. We got Mikhail Hanin doing a lot of stuff. I do really like Mikhail Hanin. He did some awesome covers for JSA with the Hawkman series. So I think it'll look really cool. So here's the JSA character. This is the thing. This Huntress looks a ton like, it's not identical, but it looks very similar to the hairstyle and the profile of the costume designed by Dan Mora for Detective Comics with Mariko Tamaki. It's clearly the Helena Wayne because it doesn't have the same color scheme and design, but the profile looks really similar. And I'm worried that Jeff Johns is going to do that thing that he was doing in 2005 and try and squish them together and say they're actually the same person, different universes, even though they're really not the same person at all. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm worried about that. I'm really interested. We'll see if this is the same Helena Wayne that Tom King was playing with in Batman Catwoman. I know it's different timelines, but maybe Jeff Johns will be like, yeah, I'm gonna pull from that. But we'll see. I will be checking out that series. I'm not super excited, but I will be checking out that one. I'm not going to check out Stargirl just because I haven't read any other Stargirl. I didn't read the original JSA run, so I don't have a lot of connection to it. I like that he's doing it. I think it's cool that he's doing Red Arrow. She's a cool character. Although I do wish we'd get a Green Arrow series with Ollie and Dinah and Roy and Liam. Like, come on. We need that reunion. I know that Ram V is working towards that, but we need that reunion. Blue Beetle graduation day. So this is funny because this is the round robin story, and is not even the round robin runner up. This was a round robin title eliminated in, I think. So let's see. There were 1, 2, 3. There were 4 rounds of both round robins. This was eliminated in the 3rd round, so it was not the final round. It was one of the 4 titles, so it's not even the runner-up. I'm actually really excited. This looks cool. It's got Starfire in it. I do think it's funny that round robin is increasing the diversity of the DC line. It's Blue Beetle, it's got Starfire, so it's like got both the Cosmic Teen Titans, New Teen Titans, and Legacy. Cool concept of Blue Beetle graduating from high school, going to college. Just lots of cool stuff here. Really cool. And the art looks amazing. This looks fantastic. And then you've got Raphael Albuquerque doing a variant. Not bad. A lot tighter than a lot of his stuff. Yeah, it just looks really cool. So, new villains. This is going to be a lot of energy. I'll be very curious to see if it actually ties into anything. The other round robin winner, Robins, tied into a lot of DC past history, but it didn't really connect to anything current. The only thing that really connected to was Tim and Steph were broken up. And of course, Dick was in Bloodhaven, and I guess he had the dog. Actually, I think he did have the dog. So Seeley clearly tried to be in continuity, but he was writing in such a weird way, and I think that he was kept outside of the editorial offices because Andrew Marino's not in the Bat office. And he's the editor of that one. I don't know who's editing Blue Beetle. Actually, he's not going to say. Yeah, that's a bummer. But very excited about this. And Superboy Man of Tomorrow is supposedly coming out. They haven't really announced it. I think it's... So the way Robins worked is it hit DC Universe first, and then it was available for sale. I don't know if they're going to do that again this year, but we'll see. Another big thing that's happening is Wildcats. I have read 0 Wildcats. I read the backup stories in Batman Urban Legends. I thought they were annoying and stupid. I'm just not going to cover this. I'm not reading. It's like Milestone. It's not that I'm saying it's bad. I'm just not going to cover it because I'm not reading it. I know a lot of people, a lot of my buddies in DC Universe are super excited about this, and I think that's great. Superman Kal-El returns special. They're saying this is an essential special volume. I think that's extremely unlikely because none of the stories are written by the main 2 writers of Superman and Action Comics. These are side stories. They are almost certainly totally optional. I'm not reading either Action or Superman, so up to you. John Stewart Emerald. What people are saying is this is a big one-shot allowing Jeff Thorne to finish up the story he was telling in the Green Lantern run. I think that's cool. I'm not a Lantern head, and if I do like a Lantern, it's Kyle. I just love Kyle Rayner. So John Stewart, all the power to him. Not for me. Dark Crisis, now on Infinite Earths. This cover is very cool. It does not have Steph. Some of the cover, actually, none of the covers have had Steph, but Steph has been in issues, which is cool. They're having a movie cover, which is nice. Movie cover for Black Adam, and Black Adam is a big part of this series. People are saying this is Cass, but still, yeah, no Steph that I can see. I don't know. I'm not a Crisis guy. I've read Convergence and the Two Metals, and that's it. So I just don't have a lot. The Dark Army, I'm not happy that Delilah S. Dawson is getting a lot of DC work. It's only 2 titles, but they're pretty big titles. She wrote a really just unpleasant, jokey, funny book. It was a fantasy that's supposed to be a spoof of titles, but it's not a spoof. It's basically just pot shots. It's a book length series of pot shots at stuff she thinks is bad. It's not funny. I understand why people like it. It is somewhat cute and heartwarming, but it's no more cute and heartwarming than any other D&D campaign that someone wrote down. So I'm not happy that they're putting her on these things. But maybe she'll surprise me. People have. But I don't know. We're doing a Warzone too. So this is funny. This is a one-shot. This seems like the Wild Hunt, which was sort of an essential metal one-shot. Dark Army probably is going to be a big thing because it's about Pariah's army. Warzone looks like it's going to be a lot of tie-ins. We've got Jeremy Adams from Flash probably doing a Flash tie-in. Stephanie Williams. She's a Nubia guy. Yeah. So anthology, and that's 48 pages. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 short stories. I wonder if there are going to be any co-writing. We'll have to see on that one. Dark Crisis, Worlds Without a Justice League, Batman by Simon Spurrier. I am not a Spurrier fan, so I am not excited about this. Art by Ryan Sook, which is cool. Megan Fitzmartin. I have been very disappointed in Fitzmartin, and I say this as someone who really liked her podcast. I keep saying this 10 years ago. I really liked her podcast. I used to interact with her on that podcast. Thought it was really cool. I thought it was really cool when she started writing. I liked Robin Eternal okay, but the whole Urban Legends thing, how they handled the Tim Drake coming out thing, I think she's handled it very poorly. It feels very cynical, and I have unconfirmed rumors that it was extremely cynical. I think she is sincere. I just don't think she's writing it well at all. So I'm not excited about that. Dark Crisis Young Justice finally ending. DC's War of the Undead Gods number 4 and number 5. This is again. I am really surprised that we're getting halfway through solicits. This is an 8-issue miniseries. 4 and 5 are solicited. They haven't announced a spinoff. They announced spinoffs. They had 2 spinoffs for the first one, which was just 4 issues, so it wasn't quite like as big. And then they just had 1 spinoff, but it was a 15-issue digital first called A Good Day to Die Hard. Hope at World's End. DC's was A Good Day to Die, and the second one was DC's Unkillables. So they haven't done any spinoffs, which surprises me and also worries me because the whole Stephanie Brown, Talia al Ghul plotline, I think, would happen in a spinoff, and if a spinoff doesn't happen, we're probably not going to get that. On the other hand, do I really want Tom Taylor writing Stephanie Brown? Not really. I really didn't think that what he did with her in Deceased, A Good Hope at World's End, was good at all. It was very cool to see her as Robin. She had a nice moment with Damian, and then she was literally just comic relief and then got killed in a dumb way. I did not think that was a good use of the character at all. Batman versus Robin. Spoilers. If you are trying to keep virgin ears, as my co-host Steph on the podcast says, don't listen now. I really hope that this whole return of Alfred in Batman versus Robin is not a trick. We'll have to see. I do like this cover by Asrar. We've got Damian Batman 666, Mother Soul, and Talia. I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't really like the concept, but if it brings Alfred back, that is exciting. Nightwing Annual. This is backstory of both Heartless and the dog. Kind of cute. I'm not enjoying Nightwing, so not for me. Oh, who's on art? Oh, Eduardo Pensico. I really like Eduardo Pensico. He's a really good artist. So the art will actually be really good. I mean, the arts on Nightwing has been generally good. I've liked Bruno Redondo, even though he says some weird quote unquote jokes. Batgirl's annual. It's pretty cool that we're getting annuals. Steph never got an annual. Cass only got one annual in 6 years, whereas Barbara got let's see, she got 3 annuals in the New 52, and I think she got at least 2 annuals in Rebirth. It's very cool to me that she's getting annual. I'm not happy that Robbie Rodriguez is doing the drawing. I don't like him as a person on Twitter. I don't like his art. I think it's very rubbery and loose looking. A lot of people do like it. He has a lot of fans. The concept is very late 90s, early 2000s speculative fiction TV show, body swap. We're going to have Batman as a guest star. Babs is trying to figure out the thing. Steph and Cass are in each other's bodies, and their parents show up. I think this is a really cool issue. I love that they're dealing with the backstory. We'll see. This could be really cool, or it could be very weak. Body swap means they really have to focus on characterization. Hopefully they can do that. And the fact that they're body swapped and they have to deal with their parents means they're going to have some individual motives and individual problems to solve in their own way. That's something that the book has struggled with. So hopefully that'll be a strength. It'll be something good. Detective Comics Annual. Christopher Mitten doing art, Ram V doing it. I prefer it when the writer for the series does the annual. I don't like it when they do something else because it feels... why is it part of the run? If you want to do a special, do a special. Don't call it an annual. And this is going to be a werewolf backstory. Trying to remember if we've seen... I think there might have been a werewolf. I thought it was a demon. We'll have to see. Ram V's... I really like reading Ram V's Detective Comics. I don't really understand what he's doing. We'll see. I'm excited because I really like his Catwoman run. So this is not a negative. I can't explain it. But Christopher Mitten, we don't have the cover by him. It's by Evan Cagle. So yeah. Cool looking. I just don't understand. Newbie in the Justice League. I am not reading enough Wonder Woman. Nubia's origin. Wonder Woman 793. Trinity. I like this idea. The Trinity again. Seeing Wonder Woman hang out with Batman and Superman is cool. Yeah, I forget doing main cover. I don't recognize this artist. Quinona is doing... That's I like that. Hair looks a little Medusa-ish, but cool. And this is the jean jacket I was talking about. This is funny and cute. I really like that. And Clay Mann doing another variant, and he actually posted the colored one, so it is colored, but probably wasn't in time to get all in the file that they send out to the solicit people. But yeah, very cool. I wish she was a little bigger compared to the other two, but it's nice. And DC's Grifter run over by a reindeer. I have a theory about this. I think some of the round, because they promised that some of the round robins would be getting 6-issue stories. Now these stories are usually 8 to 10 pages. So maybe they expanded it. Maybe they're going to have longer stories to make up for it. But they've mentioned that there's a Hawkman, and Cavan Scott is writing that. And so Cavan Scott Hawkman pitch was one of the round robin things. And I could see it becoming a holiday story from the pitch that we had revealed. So I may be buying this to see those round robin pitches become short comics. We'll see. Trying to remember which ones were announced. It was Hawkman, and I guess I wasn't paying attention to it because I didn't care about them winning, but I really wanted to see that Hawkman pitch. Superman 78 Special Edition. So this goes with the death of Superman. We also had a the Death of Superman 30th Anniversary special with 4 stories by the original creative teams at the time, headlined by Jurgens. I'm really excited about that one. It's going to have an armband, 30th Anniversary armband. I think it'll be really cool. I'm planning to get that, even though I'm not a huge Superman reader. I do love Superman. Detective Comics first issue of Robin. Brave and the Bold. What's the first issue of this? First time of the Starro? I don't know. But a lot more facsimiles again. I don't remember them doing as much facsimiles last month. Batman and Catwoman story. And this is interesting. They're collecting the Batman Annual, the short story from Catwoman 80th, and the short story from Detective Comics 1027. That is cool that they're putting them all together. I don't like the 127 story. It doesn't seem necessary at all, and I don't think the art seemed off. Like Walt Simonson's a great artist, but it seemed like it didn't quite fit. But the Catwoman story with art by, I want to say Mikel Janine. I think it was Mikel Janine. No, it was not. Who did the art on that? I don't remember. But it was a really good story. I really liked it, and it definitely connects to Batman Catwoman. I like that Tom King spent a lot of time trying to fill in the world with these short stories and build up and market. It feels like a world that's lived in, and it literally is the story of what happens after the storyline in Batman Annual #2, the first half, and then the last little bit. Those two storylines spin out, and then the end of Batman 85 leads into the middle story. So I really like this story. A lot of people didn't. I understand why. I do think it would have been better if he'd released it in 3 trades of the past story, the present story, and the future story. I understand why he didn't do that, but I think he was, with the delays, I think it was just too big a burden on the monthly reader. I read every issue as it came out, but I knew I was going to read it all together, and I think reading it all together is the best way to experience this story. So this trade is great. Rorschach, I noped out when Frank Miller showed up. It was too weird. Killing Time just ended. I really surprisingly enjoyed this. I didn't think I would. David Marquez's art was fantastic, and Tom King did some fun, creative stuff. Ultimately, it's not like a lasting story, but it's a fun story. Strange Adventures was very pissed off at the end. House of L Book 3. I've read the first 2 books of this. Really fun. I'm very hopeful that this has a hopeful ending. I worry that it's going to just be very sad because we all know that Krypton explodes. I just hope these two can find a way to survive. We'll see. Maybe they won't. This looks like they're not going to because we've got that Kal-El going off into space and they're standing there. So maybe they're just going to perish with the rest of Krypton. Would be very sad, but can't say that. Dark Knight's Metal Omnibus. Now, is this both metal? So Dark Knight's metal. No, it's not. So this is just the first metal, which means that they're going to do death metal too. Action Comics 1049. Oh man, this cover is amazing by Steve Beach. So we're going to have Superman, Kenan Kong, Crypto, Supergirl, Steel's daughter Natalie, and Steel hanging out doing adventures at the Fortress of Solitude. That is just such a gorgeous cover. I love that. And this is the second last issue of The Return of Kal-El in Action Comics 1050. So pretty cool. Batgirls #12. So this is going to be the last issue that Neil Googe is contracted to draw. The solicit doesn't sound like it's the end of the story. So maybe this is going to be another 6-issue arc, and they're going to have another artist come in. I really hope it's not Robbie Rodriguez. I would really prefer them to keep Neil Googe because he's done such a good job with that first issue. And this is going to be Mad Hatter. I think that's very appropriate because his attacks on young women, trying to make them Alice, makes him a perfect foil for Batgirl. All the Batgirls. Is kind of weird because both Tudor and Spellbinder from the first arc have like the same kind of powers. So mind control of people, making them do what they want. I hope it doesn't start to feel like Burnside, where every villain felt really repetitive, but we'll have to wait and see. Here's the main cover by Jorge Corona. Very cool. A little... Doesn't pop quite as much as I like, but it is cool. Here's our incentive cover by Ryan Gonzalez. Very cool. We've got Hatter. We've got the dog from Nightwing still, and Nightwing over here. Doesn't look like Mr. Mind. Steph and Cass. Very nice. I don't know who that is. Here's our Audrey Mock cardstock variant, and I have this pulled up. I want to show you. Here is the 90s variant by Paulina Ganucho. It is an homage to this page from Detective Comics 1048, the first appearance of Steph as Spoiler. And and you have Steph on the bike, and then Tim jumping on saying "cool bike" behind her, and she's very surprised and not happy about it. You have Steph with Cass in her modern costume. I am really excited about this. I want to get this. I love and the thing about it is Paulina Ganucheau says that she is a student of Tom Lyle, who passed away a couple years ago, and I think that's so cool that she's referencing that picture, that panel work that he did, that composition. Really, really cool. And the colors, if you look, have very similar. So that purple and blue representing purple and black, and purple and blue again. Very, very cool. So that 90s homage, definitely getting that. Night Watch. This, I think, is a tie-in to a bunch of toy lines that I still haven't really seen. I don't know what happened with that, but they're pushing it pretty hard. Batman Inc. #2. So covers by art and cover by John Timms. Looks pretty cool. Variant by Jorge Molina, and a 1 in 25 variant, which I'm not happy about, by Ivan Tao, and a 90s by Chris Burnham, who is the original artist on Batman Inc. No, Yannick Paquette was, but Burnham took over pretty quickly. So here's our John Timms main cover. Pretty cool. A lot of red. Kind of monochrome, but looks cool. Not quite as many Batman Inc. agents as I'd like to see them advertising. So I really want them to do rotating, like Batman Inc. Volume 1 did, rotating focus on the different Batman Inc. characters. I don't want it to just be Ghostmaker's story. I like Ghostmaker, okay, but I want to see like Jiro from Japan, and especially Mana Bats. I love Mana Bats and Raven Red. Like lots of cool characters I want Suzy to focus on. Here's the Burnham 90s. A lot of cool characters in 90s style. I don't recognize this character. This might be that Abyss lady, that lady who sort of took over from Abyss, even though she was a cop. She was really a man. From Josh Williamson's run. I don't know. We'll see. And here's the Jorge Molina variant. I like this. I wonder if they're going to do wraparound or if it's going to be sideways. This is really cool. We've got all the characters: Knight, Clown Hunter, Ghostmaker, Batman, El Gaucho, I think his name is. I think that's Raven Red. The Hood. I thought he died. Wingman, and that Wolf guy. Lots of really interesting characters. Batman Fortress. This, I still want to say this is Black Label, and this is an 8-issue miniseries, and I don't really understand why. But people, I mean, Derek Robinson is a very popular artist, and they got a big movie writer. Batman Superman World's Finest. Dan Morris still on art. Joker's showing up, still set in the past. I'm still not reading it. Batman Gotham Knights video game Gilded City tie-in. That is cool. Art by Abel. Is he doing cover? He is not. So I don't know what the inside of this is going to look like. We'll see if it's any good. Audio Adventures, #3 of 7. Dennis McNichols. I think he's one of the writers for that Audio Adventures on... I want to say that's on HBO Max, but I could be wrong. Batman Urban Legends #12. Michael Cho is actually going to be writing and drawing a story. Anthony Falcone, Joey Esposito, Dennis Culver, and Julio Antal. We're having Dynamic Duel pushing the Batmobile to its limits. That sounds like the Michael Cho story. Renee Montoya transitioning from detective to the commissioner, and Arkham Academy is starting. So we've got Michael Cho's main cover. We've got Renee Montoya, and that's a very cool Fornes cover. I don't know. I still hate this title so much. I hate Urban Legends. I wish they would do miniseries instead of Urban Legends, because the title is mostly trash. I don't understand the Arkham Academy. It just seems... I don't like Urban Legends. I don't like that I have to cover it for the podcast. Now, here's a title I am loving. Black Adam. And they're saying Batman has had enough of Black Adam. Not a huge fan of this cover. I normally have been liking the Urban Rodriguez covers, but as the one for last issue and this one, I'm going to be buying the Rafa Sandoval variants. This is one of the other variants. This is the 90s variants after Jay Lee. Lots of pouches and guns, even though Black Adam needs no guns. It's hilarious. This shoot, I actually read this. That's Carla Barberi doing that. David Lapham doing that variant there. That's a pretty cool variant, actually. I really like the composition. I like the clean lines. He's a little too bumpy looking for me to really like it, which is why I'm ultimately going for this Rafa Sandoval. He's doing the interior art. Black Adam reflected in Batman's cowl. That's just a really cool cover. I'm definitely getting that. And the previous one is Black Adam going up like a Superman pose against a fighter jet. Probably the Bat plane, but we don't know for sure because we know that Priest has said that Batman is showing up in the last 2 issues of the first arc. Going to be a big showdown between Black Adam and Batman. Really cool. Love that. Very excited to see what happens. Catwoman number 49. Since Teenie Howard with her husband is co-writing the Punchline miniseries, we have a Punchline crossover. This is the Jeff DeCall main cover. The Jim Balent 90s cover. I appreciate that they're doing that tie-in with the actual artist. And there's this, I want to say that's Tula Lote. Yep, Tula Lote. Doesn't look like Suzumica to me. But she's doing the incentive variant. This title I just hate. But we'll see. Some people are liking it. I'm hating it. Dark Knights of Steel. I'm still not really on board with this. Glad that Yasmin Putri is getting more stuff. This main cover is by Dan Mora. Variant is by J.G. Jones. Good to see him working. He does amazing stuff. And the variant by Raphael Overkirk. So let's see what they've got. Main by Dan Mora. That is very cool. Supergirl and Wonder Woman, who are partners. They're like married or something in this universe. So it looks like this issue is going to be very Wonder Woman heavy because the variant by J.G. Jones is also Supergirl and Wonder Woman. And holy cow, that's a lot of detail. So there's our like medieval battle in a forest scene by Raphael Albuquerque. That's Raphael Albuquerque? That does not look at all like Raphael Albuquerque. That's very fine lines. He likes thick, like pastel clay, not clay, like just very oil crayon lines. That's weird. I wonder if they did the wrong credit. I think that's the wrong credit. I don't think that's actually Raphael Albuquerque. DC Horror with Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead. Bruce Campbell writing it. Cool. Not reading it. I'm not reading DC Vampires either. It's almost done though. Otto Schmidt's still on it. Let's see. Do the variants have any? Steve Beach, who did that gorgeous. That's the incentive. So they only have either the main or the variant there by Guillaume March or Nathan Zerdy. That's weird. DC versus Vampires All Out War. So this is the tie-in. So the tie-in and the main story are going to be ending at the same time. That's pretty good planning. The backup is written by Matthew Manning. So, and they don't say what the backup's about. So we don't know. The first backup was a really cool Steph Batgirl story by this great artist, French artist. I want to say his Siglain, I think was his last name, but he's really cool. He did a cast Batgirl future story, and this is an alternate universe future Batgirl Steph. I love that he did both of those, and so I bought both of those in different formats. Really cool. DC versus Mech is coming to an end. Not quite, though. Deathstroke Year 1 is coming to an end. Mikkel Hanin cover. That's a very interesting Deathstroke cover. I wonder if that's supposed to be, what's his name? Grant. Doesn't look like Slade because Slade's in the background. That is her Rebirth costume. And I should check on Ravager's costume history because she wore that costume in Rebirth, but I don't remember if they redesigned it or not because they totally redesigned Slade's costume and then they've redone it again, unfortunately. I really like the Rebirth costume. Very sleek, very cool sci-fi looking. A lot of symbolism too. Detective Comics. So this is cool. The Asper Demon is... This is going to have a Two-Face part with the Asper Demon taking control of Harvey Dent. That's interesting. You have the Orgham or Arkham Prince from, I want to say India, but I'm not sure. Could be somewhere in the Middle East. And Bruce Wayne just trying to figure out what's going on. I do really like this cover, just sort of coming down composition, like the cape grabbing things as he's tracking a monster. Don't really like that one, but I definitely see the appeal. Here's our 90s by Kyle Hotz after Kelly Jones. Black and white version. And here's an interesting Pieta, and this is, I think, an incentive variant. We've got Babs and Steph lowering Batman as Cass looks on. It might not actually be a Pieta, but it looks like a Pieta pose. I like this. It's cool seeing Steph on variants. I don't buy incentives. I think that's the incentive by Colleen Doran. Yeah. Oh, I see. So the 50 variant is a black and white by J.H. Williams III. Fables 157. This is 7 of 12, over halfway. Says it's going to focus on the Cubs. Bigby sent on a quest to have an adventure, and Snow was very peeved with him last issue. We saw a couple of those adventures. Fun stuff. Stakes still seem a little low. I like this girl being picked up by a giant. That's very Fablesy. And this turtle with a teacup. Man, that's an image from the original Fables. That was like a side story that sort of threaded in and out of different other stories. And I don't know if it ever has a resolution, so maybe Willingham is going to resolve it now. Very cool. Love this art by, I want to say it's Christina Kalida. Yeah, Christina Kalida does really great covers. And the Buckingham covers for the variants are also really cool. I don't know. I've been buying the main covers, but I am really tempted by those Buckingham variants. But I try really hard not to buy multiples. The Blue Wall, we've got John Ridley continuing this. Oh, it's a 6-issue mini. I thought it was a 4-issue miniseries. Okay, well, it's a 6-issue miniseries. It's about GCPD Renee Montoya. She is still technically doing some questioning stuff. And I think this is supposed to be a prequel, which is annoying. I'm tired of prequels. A lot of people are upset that this is like the new version of GCPD or Gotham Central because they want Renee to not be a cop anymore because they hate the police. I don't know. That's very interesting. You've got Gordon and this is a 90s cover, right? No, I guess not. It's just Sebastian Fiumara. The only thing it has to do with the GCPD thing is Gordon, and he's not even listed as a character in the series. Maybe he will be, but I don't think so. But yeah, Officer Wells, I think he's actually going to be a character threading in and out of different stories. I think he's a probation officer, but I'm curious. He looks cool. Gotham City Year 1, number 2, Tom King and Phil Hester. Here's our main cover by Phil Hester. We got the Wayne and the Owls, so 2 things going on, deep history going on. Cully Hamner doing Slam Bradley with that. That's so Chinatown. And Tom King has said Chinatown is a big thing, so that baby who's kidnapped is super dead, guys. I'm going to keep saying this, but if that baby ends alive, I will be super shocked. He kept the girl alive in Superman Up in the Sky, but he's going to kill this Wayne baby, Helen Wayne. And I think this is Helen Wayne's mom. Could be another. Does look kind of femme fatale, although there's a light color and the gold makes it seem more like and the pearls make it seem like it's more going to be a Wayne. I don't know. Maybe she is a femme fatale. We don't know much about the story yet. And then here's Gotham City Year 1, number 3. And doesn't give much. Have that owl. Here's the Phil Hester, Slam Bradley, with a shovel. I really think that baby's going to die. We got Jazz, which means I think it's going to delve into that African-American history stuff. Greg Smallwood doing Wayne's and Slam Bradley and that bat. That is gorgeous. Greg Smallwood is really great. It's a huge part of why I am enjoying Human Target, even though I really hated the issue before it went on hiatus. And this is Franco Francavilla doing more Slam Bradley with a bat. I wonder if they're actually going to do any bat stuff, or if this is just like artists like doing the bat because it's Batman. But we'll have to see. I don't see as much bat stuff. Listen to Phil Hester. Yeah, I don't see a ton of bat stuff from Hester. So it's just variant covers. So this could very well not be a lot of bat symbolism, but we'll see. Harley Quinn by Stephanie Phillips continues. Art and cover by Matteo Loli. I don't remember. I think Matteo might have done some previous issues, but it's not ringing a bell. That is one sexy Leah Bermejo cover and weird. At least she doesn't have that Y autopsy thing that she did in Batman Damned. Harley Quinn animated series continues. I Am Batman continues with an interesting, and there's a Justice League tie-in, so this is Dark Crisis tie-in. The 90s is Azrael versus Jace Batman. That's kind of a funny little tie-in. And who's doing that one? Carrie Randolph. So very cool 90s variant there. Looney Tunes, Mad Magazine, Monkey Prince. Not reading any of these, unfortunately. Teen Justice, Nightwing. I am unfortunately reading this because I'm trying to keep up. The idea behind this is Night Might. So it's like Batmite or Mr. Mxyzptlk. But Nightwing's version of it, that just seems really silly to me. I don't know. I think this might be trying to disguise the answer that they hinted at in the last issue on their way to 100, but we'll see. Oh, is Redondo on this art? No. So this is guest art by one of the artists who works with Tom Taylor on another, like a creator-owned series called Seven Secrets. Poison Ivy has been continued. It has a really gross cover, which is appropriate, I suppose. I don't know. I've been reading this story. This is an interesting cover, talking about the oil industry with, I don't know. It could be good, could be bad. I haven't read enough of what Willow Wilson's doing at DC to tell. Teenie Howard and Blake Howard doing the Gotham game for Punchline, 2 of 6. Gleb Melnikov, fresh from Robin, doing Punchline. Punchline versus Batman. Punchline with Derek Chu. Punchline. Oh, no, that's Derek Chu. So which one's that? Is that Kunkka? That might be Kunkka. Oh, it's David Nakayama. Yeah, I do like David Nakayama. Does he do the Sona? Is there a Sona signature somewhere around here? Nope. Oh, no, that's David Nakayama. Looks like Sona if you're not paying attention. Oh, and Dan Hip. And we've got a Stephanie Brown on that variant. And that Dan Hip variant is a 1 in 25. So I will unfortunately not be buying that. But I do really like Dan Hip. And that's a very cool variant. I'm not reading any of these. Sword of Azrael. Dan Waters and Nicola Chimisicha. I don't actually know how to pronounce that, but very, very cool art. I really like that. The giant man on the wheel and Azrael attacking him with a flaming sword. That's just awesome. Probably metaphor, but it would be cool if it were real too. Azrael versus, is that the same guy on the wheel? Yes. So that spiky helmet guy is definitely going to be a bad guy. And is that the 90s variant or just an incentive variant? No, that's just an incentive variant by Ricardo Ortiz, who did a bunch of stuff with James Tynion on Ghostmaker. Pretty good art, very anime in style. And Azrael number 5. And it looks like Father Valley, one of the surrogate son of Jean Paul's father, is very angry, and he's going to try and kill Jean Paul, who's having a very difficult time. And this is Alvaro Martinez, and this is his Detective Comics sort of homage. And that's Steph and Cass and Batman and the Colony and the Victim Syndicate, Tim Drake and Batwoman and Clayface, and Azrael, who was part of the team. So I wonder if this is going to draw back. And unfortunately, that Alvaro Martinez cover is a 1 in 25 variant. So I don't think I can justify buying it, even though it's super gorgeous. We'll see if Steph is even in the issue. It would be really cool. This variant, open to order variant of Father Valley and Azrael, is also really cool. Love Derek Chu. Batman Scooby-Doo continues. Ivan Cohen is coming back. Diri Brazula doing the art. He's the most consistent of the art. Poison Ivy planting Batman in the Scooby Gang with Batgirl. That's clever. I am not super impressed with Ivan Cohen. I just did a review of the last 6 issues of the Maxi series, and that spun out into this ongoing. Sholly Fish does such a great job of doing really careful craftsmanship and layered references and character traits, not arcs, because they don't really grow, but they're traits that pop up in fun and unusual places. And I just don't think Ivan Cohen's stuff is nearly as clever or intelligent or carefully crafted. Well, I know he's trying to craft it carefully, but he just doesn't have the layers. He doesn't have all the things going on that Charlie Fish has going on. Flash 788, Jeremy Adams continues to be totally awesome. I'm very disappointed that Fernando Pasarat is doing pencils. Taran Clark continues. I do like this. I don't know enough about Wally's history. Here's the 90s variant by Todd Knock. I'm probably just going to get the main cover. These variants by George Cambadias, they're just too abstract for me. I wish these were a little sharper. They're a little muddy in the details, but sort of like Fraser Irving, which I really hate. But they're better than Fraser Irving. The face shapes aren't weird. But I am just loving this Flash story. Flash, Fastest Man Alive by Kenny Porter. And this, of course, is the movie tie-in. So we'll see if this movie ever comes out. Human Target number 9. Batman finally shows up with 4 issues to go. I really love this cover with Batman. And then we've got a variant also by Smallwood. At least I think. Oh, no, this is Cully Hamner. So that's a very cool variant with Batman and then a bunch of different people in the background of the Human Target. It's a very gripping story. It just also happened to make me hate the main characters in the last issue. So we'll see. Joker Man Who Has Stopped Laughing. And we do have a variant. So this is Carmine Di Giandomenico. Really love his art. I just don't like the Joker. And this is Rosenberg, which, oh my gosh, that's so gross. Here's the 90s variant. And there's the Lee Bermejo variant with Harley Quinn's butt. And I do like that cloud. That's very clever. So lots of variants for Joker. They really want him to sell. And we're going to have holiday variants for December, it looks like. Let's see where that. Oh my goodness. That's. I just don't like the Joker. And there's no Jim Gordon to balance him out, it looks like. New Champion of Shazam wraps up Josie Campbell and Doc Shaner variant by Rose Besh. I wonder if that one's actually done. Yes, that is a really fun little thing with the bunny and Mary. Semi-Shazam. She doesn't look fully Shazammed there, but fun stuff. And Tula Lotte doing a variant. I wasn't a huge fan of the first issue. Some people were. I am looking forward to seeing more. I just hate the fact that they think that there's only one Shazam. I loved the 6 Shazams. I love that they're doing it in the movies. I really hope that the movies inspire them to make them all Shazams in the comics. Because, come on, that's just a great interaction. Different characters, fun mythology. I think it's a waste to not do it. Nice House by the Lake is ending. Jim Drake Robin continues. Titans United not reading. Young Justice Targets. I did read the issue number 3 on DC Universe. Has some nice stuff. Action. Not a lot of character, but action. And then we've got our collections. So that is Solicitations. Now let me take a quick look at how they're advertising these on DC Connect. So the cover is Batman vs. the Joker by Mark Silvestri. We've got our Freeze. We got our JSA, so that's a big thing for us. Interesting that they're highlighting Blue Beetle, the round robin title. And Dark Crisis. Then we've got our collections, Batman Spawn, Metal, and Batman Catwoman. I'd like to see Batman Catwoman out there. So we got Batman and Joker highlighted with some interior art. Now that is some really cool looking interior art. I will say that. And then second solicitation, Batman 129 and 130. Very cool. Batman Spawn. Batman Freeze with some interior art by Matteo Scalera. Really great artist. I do appreciate that. I just don't like Jerry Duggan's writing, especially after his X-Men Green stuff. And Marauders just really bounced hard off of that stuff. Maybe it'll be better in... But I really didn't like Jerry Duggan when he was writing, like a co-writing with Scott Snyder either. So I just don't think I'm going to be liking that one. But they are advertising it heavily. Then, of course, Jeff Johns' return. Talking about the history and the future. Here's the new Golden Age, JSA number 1, and Stargirl. It'll be really interesting to see if those titles actually happen, or if they're going to happen. If they happen on time, or if they're huge delays. Blue Beetle, again, they're doing a lot of advertising, and I'm really happy about that. And because a lot of those pages were written for the preview, looks really cool. And here's our 90s rewind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 of those covers do they have. They don't have the Batgirls one. That's kind of weird. Do they? No. That's weird because it looks like Batgirls was just not quite ready yet. But they do have the Batgirls one on Twitter. Like that one is wandering around. And this is Wildcat. So if you like Wildcats, they are pushing that. Wildstorm. Kal-El returns. Yeah, so there's actually a lot of full page stuff. I wonder, does the... Okay, so we're starting to get in the half pages. So these are less priority. Here's the end. So Batgirl's annual gets a half page. That's good. Instead of... here's the holiday anthology. We're doing third pages, collections, Tom King. 4 whole trades just for Tom King. What's the... Okay. Yep. And... all right, so here's our quarter pages. So Batgirls is on the first page of the quarter pages, right next to action. In my opinion, that's a good thing. It means that they have reasonable confidence they're going to put it front and center. On the other hand, it could be alphabetical. But I feel like it's not always alphabetical. So Batman Inc. Man, Batman Inc. in number 2 dropped to a quarter pager. That's really disappointing. Whereas World's Finest gets a whole half page. All the quarter pages. And yep. That looks like that's it. And there's our collections. So a lot of cool stuff coming in November. I don't know if there's anything I'm like dying to see, but I'm interested. Definitely in the Batgirl annual for sure, and of course Batgirl's continuing. Batman continues to be really engaging. A lot of interesting miniseries. Gotham Year One by Tom King. So yeah, lots of cool stuff going on. I hope you guys are interested. Let me know in the comments if you are interested. Check out the links that I put in the description. And we'll see you next month for December, end of the year, and maybe a couple of Januaries, because they'll probably do a couple of Januaries. All right. See you then.